Thank goodness for brass ensembles to give us a moment to dry our eyes after Himang's beautiful address. And thank goodness for sunshine coming down on us, requiring us to have programs overhead. I don't know if you're anything like I am, but I've been watching the weather and seeing rain, 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 sunshine, rain, rain, rain. And sunshine has been on this day, I think, for a reason, because of the wonderful, brilliant class of 2013. It might also be because among your number is a boy named Lazla Niyamakazi. My friend Temba tells me, Temba Makabela, that his name means sunshine. And I think in the class you have such a wonderful boy whose rose I have. It is my great pleasure to address you all, alumni, faculty and staff, faculty emeriti, family, friends, students, and the graduating class of 2013. Graduates, I suspect that you are experiencing what I am right now, which is a mix of joy and sadness. It is a day when we are extremely happy and proud for you, and when we realize acutely how much we will miss you. You, the class of 2013, will always have a special place in my heart. I have great affection for you. Parents, don't worry, it's not a creepy kind of affection, it's the right kind of affection for a head of school to have for this class. You are the first graduating class in my time as head of school. And also, as you take leave of us, you take with us some extraordinary adults, 5 retiring faculty members, a number of faculty members who are leaving for other schools, and also 2 iconic leaders at this school, Temba Makabela, who leaves to become the head of Groton School, and Rebecca Sykes, our great friend and mentor to many of us, who becomes the president of the Oprah Winfrey Charitable Foundation. Temba and Becky, we miss you so much already, and we wish you extraordinarily well. I am grateful for many things about the class of 2013. I admire your high spirits and your persistent goodwill. You are a brilliant group of artists, scientists, humanists, and all-around great people. You have lived up to the moniker of being big, blue, and nice, given to you by the admissions staff as you applied for admissions here in extraordinarily competitive classes. But you've also spoken your mind. You have found the right blend of respectful and rabble-rousing, serious and fun-loving. You have provoked us to be a better school. You leave us a stronger community. One small sign of this, I'm explaining to those who are not in the class of 2013, is something that you will see many people carrying in, is a rose. This is a symbol, along with white dresses, that comes from Abbott Academy, our sister school as part of the Phillips Academy today. And by tradition, these roses were carried just by the girls of the graduating class. Today, we've encouraged, and many of you have, as boys also carried roses in solidarity, in a sense of coming together. And likewise, many of you have worn blue armbands in noting the Abbott Academy tradition. This was a quiet, last minute, in the last 24 hours, addition to the program, and you did it with great grace and great subtlety and great honor to those who come before. I'm grateful, too, to the class of 2013 for teaching me so much about Andover. I've never enjoyed teaching so much as I did with 10 seniors this winter. You know who you are. You showed me up close how creative, clever, well-spoken, and visionary you can be. You showed me what you can make of this extraordinary Andover education that you've just received. I have loved to see you each Wednesday, more or less, assembled in your joyful, diverse, and chaotic way in Cochrane Chapel for all-school meeting. I have marveled at how well you play the cello and the violin, the French horn and the bassoon. How well you perform comedy on stage. Yes, that means you too, Himang, even when you are teasing me. How well you sing and dance works from every imaginable tradition. I've been moved by the art that you post along the walls in Elson, which you may not know anyone ever sees, but I see every day going to my office. I have loved seeing you spike the volleyball. That's you, Lexi. And strike out opposing batters and clobber walk-off home runs. You have talent galore. I am grateful for the introduction, hopeful, inspiring, and challenging, that you've offered to me and to my family as we begin our Andover education. There are two scenes that I will surely remember about the class of 2013 among many. The first comes from the depths of a cold and snowy winter. You may recall that it snowed and snowed and snowed some more. And then along came the biggest of them all, Winter Storm Nemo, the biggest snowstorm not just of this year, but the fifth largest dumping of snow in the history of this region. As you may know, parents, students are required to shovel the spaces outside their dorms. Good practice for life in general. The scene that I will remember, though, was not the feet of snow or the required shoveling around your dorms, but rather the crew of students who charged right up to here with their shovels bundled up, shoveling not just the dorms, but also the administrative buildings, the classroom buildings, the steps to the chapel and the Addison, alongside the OPP crew who had come in on the weekend. It was a joyful scene to see senior faculty and staff and students of all ages, and some faculty kids too, shoveling out these buildings after a huge snowstorm so that people would be able to get to class the next day. It was the scene of a strong and considerate community going above and beyond, a real sense of what non-Sibi means in a quiet way. The second vignette is covered not with the whites and grays of a massive snowstorm, but with brilliant sunshine, much like today, blessedly. Just a few weeks ago, on these very same lawns, a small group of students worked with faculty to organize the first ever, some are now calling the first annual, Spring Arts Festival. Students here work much harder than you should, we acknowledge that, and in many cases, your life here is more stressful than is healthy. But for an afternoon, that stress was swept away by an arc of balloons that spanned between Foxcroft and Bartlett behind you, a never-before-attempted avant-garde dance that involved paint on feet and something that looked like a slip and slide right out there, loud bands, and lots of face paint. It was memorable for me because of the expressiveness and the happiness of all who participated, but also that it was something created from the imagination by Susanna and her friends, brought about from nothing, in the midst of many other demands on the time of an Andover student. And parents and family, thanks to each one of you. These students are remarkable in large part because you are remarkable. Thank you for what you have sacrificed over the last several years to share them with us for 1, 2, 3, or 4 years. Thank you for the tuition you paid. Thank you for the contributions to the parent fund and all of those things. But thank you most of all for sharing with us the best gift you could have given us, time with these extraordinary students in the class of 2013. It's an enormous trust that you have placed in us, and we are eternally grateful. I am eternally grateful that this was my first class. These kids are unbelievable. Seniors, I want to leave you with a few parting words about your Andover experience and what comes next. Just as commencement is always marked by the tension between the gladness of accomplishment and the sorrow of a time that will not return, and Himang is quite right, this is the last time you will gather together as a class. There's much else about today that is marked by two hard-to-reconcile themes. Think back to last night in the baccalaureate service in that beautiful candlelight, and think about when Fidelio was singing the Ray Vaughan Williams arrangement of Loch Lomond. It was a melody, but within it there were a number of forms of dissonance, and sometimes they were beautiful on their own, but sometimes they had to resolve into consonance. Our job today is to resolve a series of things, either with a consonant chord thereafter, or to learn to live with the dissonance. In fact, perhaps, to enjoy the dissonance itself. The first of these tensions today is pride in what you have done, alongside the humility which you must hold dear as you leave Andover. You have worked extremely hard here during your high school years. This is part of what makes Andover, Andover. You deserve to be proud of yourselves for what you have accomplished. You have prepared yourself better than almost anyone else on the planet for what comes next in college. When you get there, whenever you get there, you will know what I mean. At the same time, as you leave us, I urge you to bring with you something I've seen characteristic of the class of 2013, which is a strong and healthy dose of humility. One of the things I love about this school already is that people of all ages, and I include your faculty and staff alongside you, seem ready to learn at all times. There's a characteristic openness and joy about Andover in finding out new things, about how to create ways to improve the world. This is one of the reasons why people seem to work so hard and to sleep so little, no matter what our age, on this 500-acre plot of land. There is a hunger to improve here at Andover that I hope you will never lose. Part of our shared commitment to diversity comes from the sense that others from other places and perspectives know things and can do things that we cannot yet do ourselves. Though you are the great class of 2013, and you have that to yourselves, remember that you are in fact the third class of 13 in the long and rich history of these two academies that come together. This humility is essential, not just for you, but for those of us on the faculty and even for heads of school. Second of the tensions, and I promise you there are only a few. I hope that you will recall when you think back on Andover what you have learned about how to succeed, but also how to fail. You would not be here today if you were not wildly accomplished. You are, and I trust that the Andover experience has affirmed that in all of you. I think the clouds came over because I was about to talk about failure. That's good. This is all on cue. I trust that you'll recall also the times when you've taken a risk at Andover and failed at something, or at least had an outcome you didn't expect. While you've been here, you most likely have taken on things that you thought you would never try. I hope you've managed to skin your knees a few times. I think this was the theme both of Vic Henningson's wonderful remarks and MJ's last night in the chapel. At the same time, I hope you've found in yourself the character to pick yourself up yourselves, and that you've become more confident as a result. I hope that we have been there for you as adults when you really needed us, but that we have been at a safe enough distance when you really needed to do it on your own. If we've done our job right as educators, this tension between success and failure should foster in each of you a sense of entrepreneurship. I don't mean that each of you must found your own nonprofit, or that you need to have a startup in Silicon Valley within a few years, along with Mr. Curry over there, although I hope you will do so, and you will make us proud through your work. I mean entrepreneurship in the sense that you will take the great gifts that you have honed through your time at Andover and put them to great use to do well and to do good in the world, to realize your personal dreams and to serve others in the true spirit of non-Sibby, Andover style, much like the students who grabbed those shovels in Winter Storm Nemo and those students who put up the first annual Spring Arts Festival. A final tension. Though you leave us today in physical terms, I hope you will remain connected to Andover in ways for many years that bring you back to this place and to this time in your life. I hope you'll continue to be involved in the life of this school, Andover for life. As my friends and trustees, Peter Curry and Chris Agist, representing the trustees today, said to you at the senior dinner in May, use the Andover network and find comfort in those friendships. Stay connected. You have been students here for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but now you'll be alumni for a lifetime, and Hemong, yes, you belong. We have much work to do at Andover to continue to provide the best possible education for those who come after you in this increasingly digital age. In this work, we need your help. In the years to come, it's my hope that Andover will continue to thrive as an intense, focused, warm residential school that uses the best of the digital to connect to its alumni body, to all of you, and to students all around the world. There's a tension here, yes, between the residential and the virtual, but it's a tension that I think can result in great music. I hope that each of you will play a role in that process of making Andover better. I hope you'll stay in touch with us through Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr or whatever suits you. I hope you will continue the great work of the alumni who have come before you, many of whom are represented here today. Those alumni who have helped to make Andover every bit the school, the community, and the private school with a public purpose that we aspire to be. My commencement wish for you is that you will each find a way to hold these sometimes dissonant, sometimes consonant ideas in a way that feels harmonious and fulfilling to you. I wish for each of you truly, more than anything, a post-Andover life that will be productive and happy, full of joy and meaning. In closing, I borrow words from one of my predecessors, a head of school from Abbott Academy, Marguerite Capon-Hersey, who told her class in 1940, "We have come now to the real goodbye, and there's little more that I can say or would say at such a time in your personal lives and in this unprecedented and unpredictable world than goodbye with all its original reverent significance. God be with you." Class of 2013, we will miss you. I will miss you. Congratulations, and thank you.